great news. The woman who keeps making headlines, I think it's Shamima Begum, the 19-year-old British-born jihadi cum slut. Well, she's pushed her baby out of her disease-ridden, fetid vagina before she had a chance to get to Britain, so the kid won't be a British national. She's got no excuses for coming here. And a staggering 98% of British people polled agree she shouldn't be allowed back into the UK. 98 fucking percent. Brexit would have been a lot easier if it had been that definite. But of course she's not the only person to go to Syria or parts of Iraq to either join or fuck members of ISIS. And apparently in Syria there's a massive refugee camp with thousands of people, all of whom are ISIS supporters, including 3 British women who are all related. They've lived in the caliphate since 2014. The 2 younger women have had children with ISIS fighters, and they've got the worst excuse ever for why they were there. They say they went on a family holiday to Turkey and somehow ended up joining ISIS by mistake. Let's just pick that apart. I confess, as a younger man, I have occasionally got on a bus going in the wrong direction, but invariably I was pissed when I did it. I have never got on the wrong plane. I think it would be impossible to do. Airport security is so tight now precisely because of fucking nutjobs who want to join ISIS. So if they got on a plane that was going to Turkey, it went to fucking Turkey. And that would then mean they would have had to accidentally slip across the border into Syria. And I'd hope Turkey has some sort of security so that terrorists don't just wander in and out of their country willy-nilly. And then with supreme bad luck, they ended up in the part of the country controlled by ISIS. I've never been to Turkey, but it's the time of year when all the holiday adverts are on. And if you've seen the one for Visit Turkey, we're meant to believe the whole place is made up of charming Turkish bazaars and beaches which are inhabited solely by Western women in bikinis. Because Turkey for many years has wanted to join the EU, but it has to present itself as an Islamic nation, but not one of those nasty flag-burning death to the West type nations. So if you'd booked a holiday and you were expecting that, at what point would you think something had gone wrong? I would argue that if you found yourself on a dirt road and every vehicle that went past was a Toyota pickup truck full of bearded men with AK-47s and rocket-propelled grenades, you could then think you'd maybe taking a wrong turn. Or, when you got to your final destination and found there were body parts littered everywhere whilst the local kids played football with someone's fucking head, putting the fun back into fundamentalism, you could then think maybe this isn't Ankara. So bollocks did they get there by mistake. There'll be Islamic fundamentalists who hate every fucking thing about the West and only want to come back to England because IS are being so utterly fucking defeated. And the notion you could join by accident. Now, Mrs. Disgruntled is from Northern Ireland. You may be aware that country's got quite a lively history. But in all the times I've been to Belfast, I've never accidentally joined the fucking IRA. If I was picking the hire car up at the airport and then found I was also being given a rifle and a balaclava, I'd point out, I think there's been a misunderstanding. And in the USA, I've never found myself walking down the street with a pointed white hood and a burning cross and gone, oh fuck, I meant to get tickets for Disneyland, but I've accidentally joined the Klan. So what's to be done with these people? Well, President Trump. I'd love to have Bush back, he seems sane these days. President Trump says that all foreign fighters, they should be repatriated so they can be prosecuted. So straight away, that's the worst thing to do. Whatever Donald Trump says, do the fucking opposite. And there are some bleeding heart liberals saying that people could be brought back and de-radicalised and fit into society. And yeah, maybe some could be. But I put money on it. There's also a lot who the second they get to a civilised country will feel an urge to walk into a shopping centre and fucking explode. But I'm from a generation where we were taught not to let things go to waste. And if there are thousands of these ISIS supporters all in one place, we shouldn't let things go to waste, starving children in Africa and all that, or let things go out of date. And at present, Britain's nuclear arsenal is coming up to the end of its service life. So why not pop up a submarine and slam a couple of tridents into that fucking refugee camp? Nuke the cunts back to the Stone Age, ironically where they want to be. I don't really advocate the use of nuclear weapons. I'd be more in favour of like a large battle royale between all the ISIS supporters. They can experience the barbarism they've dealt out to other people. The last one standing, he just smashed his head in with a fucking shovel. It astounds me that no government party has yet offered to have me work for them.